Hi friends, Krista here. Thank you so much for watching Books and Jams. I'm so excited that you are here today. It is very rare that I've just had a discussion or a chatty video here on my channel. I can only think of a handful that I've done in the past. But today we are going to have a chat. We are going to talk about reading slumps. I have been talking with so many people recently that have felt like they have been in a slump. And it seems like more than normal lately. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me think about how do I avoid slumps? How do I get out of slumps? What do I think about slumps? So we're going to chat about it. And then I have 10 ideas to help you get out of a slump when you're feeling that happen. But first of all, what is a reading slump? I don't even like to call them reading slumps because to me, immediately that has negative connotations. And I just think that there are times in our lives when the season for reading is less, like the motivation and the desire for reading is less. And that's just a season and that's okay. Maybe the life is just incredibly busy and there's no specific time for reading. Maybe you've read a bunch of heavy books in a row and you just don't feel like picking something up. Maybe you read a book that was really difficult and now you don't want to read anymore. There are lots of different reasons of why slumps happen. We're not going to spend too much time talking about those reasons. You guys all know things that put you into this feeling of not wanting to read. But when you get there, what do? I myself, in the last month, a couple weeks anyway, have felt a little bit slumpy. For me, it's because I was reading a couple heavy books and then a book that I DNF'd because I wasn't enjoying it and I just didn't want to read. So I didn't. I definitely have slowed down a lot in the month of May, but I still just think of it as a season. Books and reading have not gone away. It is a hobby that I love and it will return. So I want to give you hope. First and foremost, your reading desire will return. If you're a reader, it just might be a short season. It might be a long season. It's okay. Your desire to read will come back. Books will always be there for you. They're not going anywhere. So today I have 10 ideas of things that you might try to help yourself get out of a reading slump. The first one might not be a surprise to any of you, but it is to read a middle grade book. I am one of the hosts of Middle Grade March and I absolutely love middle grade, but there are a couple specific reasons why I think middle grade might be a great idea to get out of a slump. Number one, they're often shorter. It's a shorter book. It's going to be a quicker read. It's going to be an easier read. Number two, they're often lighter in tone. Even if they deal with heavy topics, the tone of it is going to be lighter and it's probably going to end up happy at the end. And so maybe you just need a palate cleanser and something light and fun and delightful. It's often going to have humor involved that will keep kids' attention, but it also might keep my attention when I'm feeling slumpy. The other thing about middle grade is that no matter what kind of book reader you are, no matter what genre is your normal go-to, you can find that equivalent in middle grade. If you're a fantasy reader, pick up a middle grade fantasy. If you love thrillers, pick up a creepier book in middle grade. If you love historical fiction, you can find that. There's just a middle grade book out there for everybody. And if you need a specific recommendation, I can help you. Just ask. I just think reading a middle grade book is a great way to cleanse your palate, to keep your reading momentum going. And I love them. And there are so many fantastic middle grade books that you might pick up if you're in a slump. The second idea I have today to help you get out of a reading slump is to reread an old favorite. I am not a huge rereader, but there are a handful of books that I have reread a number of times. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe from the Chronicles of Narnia, Anne of Green Gables by Ella Montgomery are just two examples of books that I have reread and that I just love. So even if you don't read the whole thing, maybe just skim through to some of your favorite scenes or your favorite parts, just to keep that desire for reading fresh and to remind you why you love reading so much. Grab an old favorite and reread it a little bit. The third idea I have to get out of a slump is to try a chapter. On BookTube, we have this try chapter tag where you grab a handful of books, 5 or 6 books, 4 even, and just read the first little bit of the book and then decide which one strikes your fancy the most. I know other people do this at the library. Before they even bring the books home, they read the first chapter at the library. But by doing it with a number of different books, you are allowing yourself to say, nope, that's not the one for me right now. Nope, that's not the one. Nope, that's not the one. Without feeling like you're totally DNFing a book, you're just saying, which one, what am I feeling right now? What am I in the mood for? So maybe grab a bunch of books from different genres, or if you have reading goals for the year, like one of my goals is to read Book of the Month books this year, and I have not been very successful, but maybe I would grab 5 or 6 Book of the Month books and just kind of read the first little bit and see which one captures my attention the most, and then go with that one. The fourth idea I have is to go to your library, your local library or bookstore, and just browse the shelves. Look at the covers, read a couple descriptions on the back, and just see what jumps out to you. Maybe you have decision fatigue from the books in your house, or if you have a smaller TBR, you're tired of looking at these books in your house and you just want something different and new. Go to the library, see what they have, and just allow yourself to browse. Walk through the shelves, walk through the stacks, and see what jumps out to you. Look at the displays that librarians take time and care to set up, and just see if anything strikes your fancy. Allow yourself to browse and bring home a bunch. That's the lovely thing about a library, is that it's free, right? So bring home a bunch of those books, and then maybe try a chapter at home if you don't have time to do it at the library. But go to your library, browse, see what jumps out to you. My fifth recommendation is for a specific genre. I find that thrillers and romance in general tend to be a lot more page turnery than other genres. I am a huge fan of historical fiction, but if I am feeling a slump coming on, historical fiction is not where I turn to, because typically, it's very stereotypical, but typically a historical fiction is a little bit of a slower go in general. It usually can capture my attention, but in general, if I'm starting to feel that reading desire wane, I want something that's going to be page turnery, that I need to know what's going to happen next. And in general, thrillers and romance books have that vibe to them. So grab a thriller, grab a romance, even if those are not your normal genres. Maybe that's just what you need to help you keep that motivation going. The sixth idea, and these are in no particular order, the sixth idea I have is to just watch a lot of BookTube, or go on Bookstagram and just scroll Bookstagram and read people's reviews, or go on Book Talk. I am not a book talker. I don't ever go on TikTok, but I know that it's a thing now. So maybe that's your social media of choice. But watch BookTube videos, watch older videos from some of your favorite BookTubers, or if you have someone that reads similarly to you, look at some of their videos and see what inspires you from their recommendations. Watch the wrap-ups, watch specific recommendations, watch all kinds of BookTube videos, and just see what inspires you. And then go get that book. Go grab it from the library or find it on your shelves. But just allow yourself to just watch a little extra BookTube or Book Talk or Bookstagram and see what jumps out to you. I feel like hearing other people get excited about what they're reading always makes me excited. I listen to a couple podcasts that I don't have similar reading taste to the hosts at all, but the way that they speak about books really gets me wanting to read those books. Currently Reading Podcast is one of my favorites, and Katie and Meredith are not my book twins at all. We overlap a bit in middle grade and every once in a while in other things as well. But when they describe a book, I always get excited and be like, do I really want to read that one? So that's another fun way to just get excited about books again, is by watching other people get excited about books. Number 7 is to read in a different format. So if you are someone who almost always reads a book in print, whether it's from your shelves or the library, maybe switch it up. Maybe get on your library app and listen to an audiobook. Maybe grab an e-reader if you have one, but just listen to a book instead of reading a book. Go for a walk and listen to a book. Do the dishes and listen to a book. That's my favorite. But just try a different format. If you are always reading on an e-reader and you're just getting worn out from that, pick up a book in print. Just do it in a different format, just to switch things up a little bit and see if that doesn't help you get that motivation to read again. Number 8 is to watch an adaptation. There are so many book to movie, book to TV adaptations out there now. And I know the general rule is to read the book first and then watch the movie. I don't think that's a hard and fast rule. I think you can break that rule anytime you want to. And if you are not feeling like reading a book, maybe just go watch an adaptation and see if that doesn't make you want to pick up that book. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, and that's okay. Watch an adaptation and then read the book, or do the other way. Read the book first and then watch the adaptation. I think pairing those two together is a fun way to give yourself a little bit of room and space because you're spending time watching TV or a movie, and then also connecting that with your reading life as well. I think that would be a fun way to help get out of a slump. Number 9 is to schedule yourself a buddy read. Ask a friend, ask a booktuber, ask somebody that you know who is also a reader to read a book with you, and do a buddy read. and have those conversations about the book. And I 100% believe that this will help get you excited about reading, because you're getting a chance to talk about your reading with someone else who also loves reading. So find someone in your real life. I know my mom is a reader and we have read books together before. I have done loads of buddy reads with other booktubers and other subscribers. I just think a buddy read is such a fun way to slow down your reading a little bit, but also have conversations with people along the way. It's fantastic. It's so good. It doesn't always have to necessarily slow down your reading, but in general, it does for me because I'm taking notes. So I slow down to take notes while I'm reading. But it's exciting to get to know somebody else through doing a buddy read with them, but also to be excited about the book you're reading. Now, I have DNF'd a book that I've been buddy reading before. It happened just earlier this month, and that's okay too. Be forgiving and understanding. Not every book is for every reader at every time. And the buddy read itself wasn't the problem. It was the book. But buddy reads in general are such a positive and fun experience that adds so much to my reading life. And I think it can do the same thing for you. And my final tip for those who are feeling like they're in a slump is to just go with it. Just set the books down for a while. Do not give yourself any pressure. I am anti-pressure when it comes to reading. I do not believe in pressuring myself to read. I don't believe in pressuring you to read. If I'm not feeling like reading, that's okay. Watch something on Netflix or Hulu. Go to the movies. Go invite a friend for ice cream. Like whatever it is, don't pressure yourself to feel like, oh, I should be reading more. I should be reading more. That's not going to help. It's not going to help. It never helps me to add that pressure on, and it probably doesn't help you either. So just pick up another hobby. Maybe you paint and you haven't done it in a while. Maybe, I don't know, an artistic hobby, or go for a walk outside. Just find something else to do that has nothing to do with reading, and that is okay. There should never be pressure when it comes to reading. For all of us, reading is our hobby. As far as I know, nobody here, reading is your job. Right? It's something that we do for fun. So let it be fun. And if it's not fun for a season, that's fine. Set the books down. Go do something else. It's all right. You will still have friends who are here in this community who will be ready to talk to you about books whenever the books are part of your life again. And that is totally fine. I just think reading slumps are for a season. They are natural part of life. Everything else comes in seasons. Why shouldn't reading come in seasons too? The whole year comes in seasons. Reading should come in seasons too, and that's okay. There will be times where you want to read a lot, and there will be times where you don't. Just go with the flow. That's my 10th tip, and probably my most important. Please do not put pressure on yourself to read. It should never be pressure. Those are my 10 ideas for helping you to get out of a reading slump. I would love to hear if you have any other ideas down in the comments below. We're carrying on the discussion about reading slumps in my video tomorrow, and you will hear from some other voices as well. If you are in a reading slump, I hope that one of these tips helped you out. I would love to hear down below, what are some things that you have done to help yourself avoid a slump or to get out of a slump? I would love to chat about that in the comments below. Have you tried any of these things that I've mentioned today? Can you think of any other ideas? Let's chat down in the comments. I really hope to see you down there. And I hope you stay tuned tomorrow, because I have more discussion about reading slumps coming your way, and you will hear from some other lovely booktube voices in tomorrow's video. So that is it for me today. I really appreciate you spending some time watching. I appreciate your friendship and your support and all the likes and comments and things that help grow my channel. It really means a lot to me to have this community of readers together. And I hope that this was a helpful video for you today. And I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon, like tomorrow. Bye.